from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the Grenadiers.
Okay, Bob Stuber. I am presently 94 years of age. I was marched with the Cedar Rapids Musketeers, sponsored by the VFW 788 of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and they were our prime sponsors. I played the Bugle, and of course in those days there was no valve, or was not like a cornet or a trumpet. It was just a plain bugle. And the snare drums was all just a snare drum. There was no kettle drums or anything of that nature. It was just strictly, the drum corps in those days were more of the military style, due to the director of Mr. Jack Fromm, whereas the drum corps today are more sophisticated and more glamorous and more professional.
Hi, my name is Janice Gosnell-Ponick. I got into the Moose Girls when I was 10 years old. I marched with them probably, 10 years? And then I went with the Boys Corps and marched with them till I was 21. And I'm a drum corps nut.
Okay, my name is William C. Dale Jr. I will be 90 years old. It was coming up pretty quick.
And you were in the YMCA drum corps.
YMCA drum corps. And when they decided they were going to go to the East Coast, I think my folks had to raise, I think, $35 or $39. And we went by train out of Cedar Rapids. And I was 9 years old. I was the youngest one in the drum bugle corps. And then we headed out on the train. At first, we went to Washington, D.C. And we did play on the steps of the Capitol. And then we went from there to New York City, which is where the World's Fair was, and played and performed there in the World's Fair.
I'd march in the Memorial Day Parade and the Armistice Day Parade, and that was about it. We formed up by the YMCA. Then we go down First Avenue to probably 2nd Street, over to 3rd Avenue. Well, this is on Memorial Day. Over to 3rd Avenue, out 3rd Avenue to 10th Street, down 10th Street to Mount Vernon Road, up Mount Vernon Road into the cemetery, Oak Cliff Cemetery. Then we would alternate though, and then the following year we'd go over to Linwood.
Bill Spencer, and I was in the Cedar Rapids Cadets Drum and Bugle Corps in the early 60s.
My name is Steve Mattis, and I was in the Cadet B Corps and the Emerald Knights. And that would have been, well, the Emerald Knights started in 1965, so I was a charter member with them. I started in the B Corps probably would have been 1961, 62. I think you had to be 10 years old to get in. And then we broke away from the B Corps and my dad and a few other fathers started the Emerald Knights, and that was 65.
But like in 77, everybody was from Iowa. And it was a big deal that we had some people from 70 miles away. But we were a local corps, and when local corps went away.
And those kids that were coming from 70 miles away are still involved with the extended family called Emerald Knights.
Yeah. Like, we would do our final run through, and it would be out of Prairie every, at the evening. And our parents would all be just up on this hill where the stadium is now. There used to just be practice field. And they would be up there, and there's Mary Jennings with her. The thing is, there was Herman Ginsberg right next to her, and there was our parents, and there were all these parents, and we were the most eclectic group because we had people from every socioeconomic. Racial was not an issue.
No.
I mean, when I've thought about the Tin Tom line, back then that's what they called tenors, but we had Jerry Dennis marching right next to Steve Ginsberg, marching next to Sherlock, marching next to Greg Hughes, and those four guys were from four different parts of the world as far as socially and economically and everything, and yet they were just, they're friends, and they're still friends,
I love this picture because this picture inspired me to get more drums. And if I can never get horns, that's okay. I'd have 50 drums coming down the street because I figured out how to make them sound good enough where people would want to see them. Doesn't matter. Republicans, Democrat, Independent, red flower, purple for head. We didn't care. We wanted to be in a parade. And when we did President Clinton's parade, everybody go, yay. When we did Bush's parade, they said, oh no. So the superintendent sent a note out to everybody, leave Thompson alone. It's not about who's president. It's about the experience of the children walking down the street, Pennsylvania Avenue. Can you imagine these babies from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, marching down Pennsylvania Avenue? I'm talking 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th high school, and then Tom Harkin, Congressman Leach. I got letters from everybody.
I joined the fall of 1961 at the ripe old age of 7. I just was always attending practices at Kingston Stadium, and and so watching the Corps practice and everything, and I felt, I'd see both the A Corps and the B Corps, and I just thought the music was, it just moved me in a certain way, and I decided that, well, that's something I would like to do. Certainly, as I said, you go to rehearsal and you listen to the group and you think, wow, that sound was just, it was spine-tingling, it was just incredible. And it was such a proficient group at the time. I don't think Cedar Rapids really knew just how good the cadets were. When I was 10 years old, I arranged a piece. I was so impressed with John Nash, and I wanted to impress him. So I decided to arrange a piece, okay? And I took it to him, and he saw it. He goes, wow, this is really good. We're going to play it this year. And that began my arranging career, and I was 10 years old. I've been very blessed and fortunate having, the career that I've had. And, who would have thunk that a boy from Cedar Rapids, Iowa could win a Tony Award and a Emmy. And then Michael Doherty, he's won a couple Grammys. That drum corps had a lot of talented kids in it that went on and did substantial things.
The Emerald Knights are sponsored by their parents' organization. They were DCI Class A finalists at Philadelphia in 1976. They also hold the 76 Iowa Legion title and are past Iowa State Legion champions. From Cedar Rapids, Iowa,